How's it going, everyone? Sethphir here, and I wanted to bring you a bit of an update to the game Wayfinder. The launch happened recently and the servers were absolutely slammed. There was way more interest in this game than anticipated, apparently, and as a result there was massive queue times and a lot of people getting disconnected, tons of salt in the Discord. It was a wild ride. But now, fast forward a few days later, things have stabilized, server capacity has been increased, and we can finally start talking about the game and getting to play the game. So I wanted to wait until the dust settled before we started getting into things like guides and all of that good stuff that you would normally expect from my channel. So let's go ahead and talk about a few important things in this video. We're going to talk about a little bit of a genre type of what this game is and updates. There's a couple of huge updates for the game that have been happening now, and we're also going to take a look at future updates, which is going to be in the form of the roadmap, which we will have displayed. So let's go ahead and first talk about the state of the game right now. As we said, it had a bit of a rocky launch for the server capacity, but it has since then fixed those queue times and errors. Now the only problem that seems to remain is a bit of disconnection here and there. It doesn't seem too bad in my opinion. I was able to reach the max level and get a lot of the goodies in terms of farming, so I'm starting on that process. So they do have a little bit more work to go, but this is early access, so we will keep that in mind. This game is not your standard MMO, is a little bit more akin to Warframe, which is the predecessor of this game. I think Airship Syndicate also works on this game, so that's why you're going to see some similarities here. So if you're expecting like super MMO, grindy, like late game, raid type things, you're not exactly going to have that yet. It's more like a collection and build characters, find rare items and housing, and find rare recipes for like weapons, all of this sort of stuff. So for me, this makes the game very interesting because I like a lot of this. It's very similar to like New World and some of the other games that I have played, so it's definitely really awesome. So let's go ahead and jump into a bit of the updates for the game that have been happening now. They've increased that server capacity, so we are now actually able to play the game, which is fantastic. And they also have released a sort of tentative roadmap. I don't know if it's like super official, but we're going to go ahead and take a look at it anyways and see what's kind of coming in the future for this game. So let's go ahead and hop over to that now. All right, here we are on that roadmap, and as you can see, there are quite a few things planned for the future. There is a ton of information on here. I'm going to go ahead and put a link in the description down below so that you can go ahead and check that out yourself so you can see exactly what it is. And keep in mind, if you want more information about a topic, you can simply click on it and pull it up to elaborate it. But I'm going to focus on the main things. So it's going to be divided into a few sections here: progression, content, systems, housing, UI, and then wayfinders. So first up, in the progression system, they're going to add in a sort of awakening system, which is going to allow you to farm further on your characters, enhance their talents, a bunch of cool stuff like an armory level, account level, and different types of skills and power progression systems that will be in play. This is all pretty interesting, but I think the bulk of what is important in this roadmap is going to be the content. So in terms of content, we are going to be getting live events. So if we click on here, we can kind of see this. So we're going to be getting like seasonal events that are going to be happening. I'm hoping that this will be like similar to like the way PSO did it, where they had like live concerts, live things like that. We're getting hard mode hunts, which is going to be like the general bosses inside of the game. So this is going to be a great way for people to really start to test their character builds and what echoes they have and items, materials inside of the game. And then we are also going to be getting raids. It's not saying anytime soon, but into the future. Hopefully it's not like too far into the future like some games say, but I think having something more than the general 3-man party content is going to be great for this game. So I'm very excited about a lot of this stuff. And then you have, you know, standard things like, oh, new quests, new weapons, new job announcements, and all this stuff. So these are all interesting, but not like too much. Then we'll hop over to the systems area. They're going to have like some daily login rewards, additional respecking for your characters, which I think is great. Mounts, if you're interested in that. You can see a picture of this little weird pony here. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be. It looks like a horse or a goat. or maybe both. It's very, very bizarre. But point is, you're going to be getting some mounts, so you'll be able to travel around a little bit better. Some sort of a hook shot mechanic, so just traversing the world will be a little bit more interesting. And then, more importantly, I think the final section that I'll probably talk about here will be the housing section. So there is a housing mechanic in this game. You can have your house, you can put up sort of decorations that you want, but there are also artifacts and decorations that give you player power. So for example, you can create like sort of in the New World system where you make a trophy that gives you more magic find or more gold or something like that. These are all things that are available here, but we also have like neighborhoods and shared plots and guild neighborhoods. So that's actually pretty exciting. I know a lot of people that like these systems will play a lot and aim to craft a lot of the high-end housing items. So that could be another interesting aspect for the end game approach to this. And then we have a few more Wayfinders coming into the mix with new weapons, heroic versions of them. So tons of stuff and things to unlock. So with the roadmap out of the way, we have a lot of interesting content coming into the game. I think it was a very interesting launch as far as early access goes. I would say that this is pretty early access. The bones are there, but I think it's going to take a little bit of time to develop. It is a very fun game, and if you remember the start of other games like Warframe and things of that nature, there was a lot of very valuable collector's items that only happened when, like, at the beginning of the game, and people wanted these further down the line. So I'm very interested in this for that aspect, but overall I've been having a lot of fun. I was able to grab some people to play with, and we had a blast. Like, playing the game is actually fun. Testing out the different character and weapon combinations is practically endless, since you can sort of mix and match any character with any weapon, and you can kind of create a custom play style. There's tons of rare and interesting items to chase, so even if you have killed the monsters within the game, you can kill them on higher difficulties, you can kill the bosses on higher difficulties, and you can also chase very, very rare items and recipes. And I think that's where the end game starts to come in and shine, is going to be increasing your overall collection. So I view this as a collection game. I feel a strong desire to want to collect all the characters, all the weapons, all the housing items, there's pets. Later on, we'll have mounts and different cosmetics. So I think it's a game that will reward you for participating your time in. And I like to see that, especially in the form of like that collection status. It looks like there's a ton more to come. Currently, the level cap is 30, and that's a pretty decent level, but there's definitely plans for way beyond 30. As you can see, even at the max level, I have several things that are locked. So this is just going to expand over time, and especially when we get into hard mode content and raids, I think it will be very, very interesting to sort of min-max all your gear and approach it from that standpoint, as well as the social and collection side. So for me, this game overall is very solid. I'm going to start putting out some guides for some content on it very soon, probably starting on Monday, so after the weekend is over. So there's tons of things I want to share with you guys. I've managed to find insane weapons in this game that do crazy amounts of damage. Absolutely disgusting builds, especially for Wargrave and Silo and some of the other characters. So it's definitely just going to be a great time overall. So thanks for watching once again. I truly appreciate that, and we will see you in the next video.